Welcome back to the CARCare test drive lessons. In today's lesson, we'll discuss program options. To continue, I'll move to CARCare. We'll click the Options menu, and then we'll choose Preferences. On the General tab, you can determine on startup how the main window will be positioned. As a default, CARCare will automatically check for any reminders that are due for all vehicles that are in your database. You can turn this off if you'd like. In the On Exit section, the Backup Database option will be activated, and the software will maintain 50 of the most recent backup copies of your database. The backup path, as a default, will point to the C drive. What you will want to do is to click the Browse button and redirect those backup copies to an external hard drive or a thumb drive or any other external storage device. This way, if your hard drive fails, you'll have backup copies of your data to rely upon. There's three different options for appearance. We have Classic, we have a brushed effect, and we have Gradient. And you can choose from any of these three options. On the Reports tab, the folder that contains your CARCare reports will be listed. This is the recommended location. If you have a need to move those reports, you can do so and simply redirect CARCare to a different folder to get its reports. There are two heading lines that you can define that will appear on reports, and these values are simply the defaults, so you can customize those heading lines. And finally, when you print a report, you can choose to have all pages automatically print, or during the print process, you can specify which pages to print. On the Messages tab, as a default, CARCare will always ask for confirmation before deleting data records and before exiting the program. If you'd like, you can turn off this option so that when you close CARCare, it simply closes without the confirmation. We do recommend that you leave the confirmation feature active when deleting data, just to be sure that you don't delete data that you need to keep. Under Advanced Notification, these are default values that will be used to notify you in advance when reminders are coming due. The default settings will be 500 miles before the reminder's actually due, 30 days before it's due, and 20 hours before it's actually due. On the Attachments tab, you can define where your attachments will be located. You can also adjust the default attachment view mode. When you create an attachment, you're going to choose either to display the image using the internal image viewer in CARCare, or to launch the associated application that exists on your computer. On the Measures tab, you can choose from measures commonly used in the United States, metric measurements, or measurements commonly found in the UK. On the Settings tab, you can control drop list behaviors. As a default, as you add a new value to a drop list, it will become a permanent addition to that drop list. You can turn this off if you like. You can also have CARCare automatically drop a list when you move into a drop list field. As a default, CARCare will automatically generate new order numbers for you. You can define a prefix and the last order number used. As you move from field to field, CARCare, as a default, will always highlight the field contents, and you can turn this off if you choose. You can also choose to hide inactive vehicles. On the Tax tab, you can instruct CARCare to automatically calculate tax at a specified percentage on labor, miscellaneous, parts, and/or accessories. Optionally, you can instruct CARCare to lock the tax rate against manual edits to prevent any unintentional changes, and you can also lock the tax amount. Next in this lesson, we'll look at Options, Main Window Columns. This dialog will enable you to determine, to some extent, the fields or the columns that will be displayed on the main window. To display a column, simply double-click the item so that a check mark appears under the header column. And you can do so for vehicle, fuel, maintenance, payment, and accessories lists. Next, we'll choose Options, and this time we'll choose Drop List Values. You have control over the values that appear when you drop a list. In other words, for fuel brands, you can edit this list using the Update, Add, and Delete buttons. And the same applies to any of the other drop lists that you see listed on the left. Over time, you may find that values that were misspelled or duplicated would need to be removed, and you can certainly do that using this dialog. Back to the options menu, we have an option to apply password protection to CARCare. If you choose to set this option to on, it will request a password each time you start the software, and you must enter the password in order to gain entry. Lastly, under Options, the pane font that is used to display data in the various lists in CARCare can be adjusted to the font and size that you prefer. This was a quick look at options that are available to you in CARCare. Please continue to view the remaining videos in the test drive series to learn more. And thanks for watching.